That was awkward. Welcome to game 2 of the series. Stormless has to beat a 14 victory point victory as allies here on Samoski Winter. Stormless versus Momo. We've got US forces versus Momo's Oster. So, quite curious to see how this is going to go. I'm actually rather surprised that Stormless picked US forces when he's in such a delicate situation, but we'll see if he can make it work. He's got a rifle company, so that's very powerful on this map, of course. Momo is playing as Ostera, having access not to close air support, but elite troops, lightning war, and mechanized assault, so they, I don't know, we might see both of them deviate slightly.
We have a fresh grenadier squad.
But lightning war on this map should actually serve Momo extremely well. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. Rear echelon troops immediately charged for this building. Stormless wanting to maintain early and strong fuel control sends his first squad there. Second rear echelon troop squad moving to capture territory. He is actually ignoring a lot of strategic points. Finally, he will get a point captured right here. Momo already getting 3 captured by the time he's going to have 1. He's going to actually kickstart his economy a little bit just by having a slightly more standard, less aggressive capping order, but riflemen secure this building and Momo will stand no chance of winning an engagement for the south against riflemen in that structure. Grenadiers jump inside of that building. More Grenadiers continue their advance to take these 2 points, while the initial squad of Pios here for Momo is working on the north fuel. Riflemen will take the fuel point there while rear echelon troops move to do some back capping. Try and get all of this connected. Second squad of riflemen on its way towards the middle by going double rear echelon troops Stormless. Third rifleman will not be arriving until well after 3 Grenadiers have arrived in the central village, which is going to give Momo a bit of an advantage in the opening engagements. Riflemen engaging against Grenadiers in the church should win this engagement at this range, I think, slowly over time. Will, of course, also come down to which player fields support into that engagement first. Riflemen are going to make a play for this house, which I think they may secure. Yes, they will. That's going to be a very serious problem for Momo. He needs to try and find a way to get the riflemen out of this structure. He does have Grenadiers positioned on both sides. Riflemen move up to the north edge of this church so that only 1 Grenadier can fire on them while they're working on the squad in there and try and brute force them out a little faster. 2 squads of Grenadiers engaging against 1 squad of Riflemen in this building, and it looks like the Riflemen are going to lose this engagement soon. Veteran Riflemen are on their way to try and push these Grenadiers into retreating so that they can move onto the flank of these Grenadiers and win this fight. Meanwhile, rear echelon troops working both flanks, but neither player is going to have a munitions point anytime soon, as far as I can tell, and they both have their own fuel. There's the retreat by those riflemen, which was a little bit late, and I'm not even sure that's going to get away with 2 squads of Grenadiers trying to focus fire it down. No lucky snipe. Now it's going to be 2 riflemen versus 2 Grenadiers. Riflemen more heavily wounded. We'll secure the church right there, and it looks like Momo is going to take this engagement. If those riflemen try and charge into close range, they're going to get 2v1'd and focus fired into retreating, and the squad in the church is not going to do much better all by itself here. Plus an MG42 arrived to support in this engagement, and Stormless 4th squad of riflemen is nowhere nearby. So Momo will take the fight for the central village here in the opening of the game, which is going to help him significantly. Stormless is going to have to try and find a way to turn that around, maybe using smoke grenades.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Because he's obviously not going to have flamethrowers for a while. Momo will be the first person with a flamethrower, throws it on his Pios, and is going to jump into the building right here.
We have been granted access to superior arms and soldiers.
Light damage from riflemen leaves the building, making his way back here towards the middle. Rear echelon troops moving to take that fuel point there in the north. Grenadiers moving to engage against rear echelon troops in the south. Easily be able to win that engagement, and Momo should be able to get some more territory under his control. Stormless pretty dominant fuel thus far. Not monitoring the engagement. He's planting barbed wire. There he goes. Dominant for fuel thus far. Momo not successfully connecting any fuel points. If he can get this captured, he'll finally have a little bit of fuel income coming in. The MG in the church will weaken this push a little bit, but riflemen are positioned on 3 different flanks and look like they will be able to punch through. Frag grenade research there by Stormless, so he will go with grenades to help him win this engagement. And seeing the hail of grenades coming for the church, Momo will leave the structure and try and get to safety. He is struggling in deep snow a little bit, but it looks like he should be able to get that machine gun back behind this wounded squad of grenadiers. Whether that's going to be enough to hold the line, though, I'm not so sure. Machine guns trying to set up in this green cover position to fire on the full health rifle squad, but the grenadiers had no choice but to retreat right there, and more riflemen are on their way, which means the engagement is lost for Momo. He has no choice but to retreat that machine gun out of the central village. And now Stormless will be the one who takes control. The grenadiers probably should have moved up to support during that engagement, because they stuck around capturing the fuel down there. Momo didn't have enough protection for his machine gun, is going to lose total control of this area. There's that retreat as well. He has no choice with all these riflemen in his retreat path.
The enemy is attempting. The sector has been cut off. Scout car has arrived.
Grenadiers reinforced!
Yeah? Enemy infantry has made contact!
Scout car ready.
I actually do wish that not every single American soldier was the same white guy. How come there's no black soldiers? There's no black soldiers, there's no, like, no other ethnicities. It's no fun, come on.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
White people are not the only people who fought in World War II. Just saying. Just saying, Relic. That overly aggressive advance by those riflemen. Oh, jeez.
You guys, listen to me if you want to live. They are losing a sector.
Germany now holds the victory point.
Pio is working on the strategic point there in the north. These rear echelon troops taking control of the south VP. Scout card was not able to pick up that wipe. Unfortunately, the squad did get away with a tiny sliver of HP remaining, and Stormless is going to go with the very dangerous 4 riflemen and double rear echelon into lieutenant tier, which of course leaves him with no AT gun and no real counter to the Panzer IV should his own armor be compromised.
The enemy is taking our territory. We have lost a squad. Enemy infantry indicating us.
Machine gun gets cleared right there in the middle. Frag grenade into the building's gonna wipe that. Oh, barely got out in time, but it may not matter. Lieutenant trying to finish the job. Come on, BAR. Wow, 3 bursts from that BAR do nothing. Can't believe that grenadier got away alive. But this machine gun will get stolen, which may be a much better pickup than just wiping out a grenadier squad. That's gonna be a very painful loss for Momo. And here come the flamethrowers, keeping up the immense pressure. Late retreat or flawed retreat. Messed up pathing right there, however, and the rifle squad gets wiped, so he didn't successfully steal that machine gun, he just traded for it, which is still probably pretty worth it, but it's sours that victory a little bit, unfortunately.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Ooh. Ooh. Lucky flame burst right there. That's 1 flamethrower down, 1 rifle squad wiped. Some pretty serious losses for Stormless at this point, who is still doing very well for map control, but losing the north
The
field
bunker
point.
has been converted to an emergency medical station.
We might see a Sherman very soon, though. Momo not very prepared for it, and he's actually going to go double scout car. Very interesting.
How can we help? We have liberated the objective.
Double scout car, I think, is very difficult to pull off. Momo must think it's worth it since his opponent went lieutenant tier. He's up against rifle company. He wants to get those autocannon shots off for manpower bleed, harassment, maybe lucky flamethrower pops like he has before. I think one is probably good enough. I've very rarely, maybe never seen double scout car actually work. We will send this one north to harass that lieutenant. A lieutenant is an excellent target for the scout car to work on. It has no counter whatsoever.
We need to start us a rumor like they did back in Berlin. Remember? The guy? Pioneers ready for anything! Territory secured.
Grenadiers are working on the center point right here, making their way towards the VP. Scout car struggling a little bit on the ice. We'll get into this engagement, start working on the lieutenant again. He does need to be very careful to stay away from riflemen, vetted riflemen. Damage his engine. Autocannon scout car is fully repaired in the base, may make its way back to engagement soon. Momo struggling to get munitions together for flamethrowers, so even though he went double pios, he's not getting any return on that investment yet. He needs to try and get them connected. He may briefly have the south munitions here, since the rear echelon troops are taking the VP rather than the munitions point. That'll help with flamethrower production a little bit. Stormless certainly has no shortage of flamethrowers, 2 on those riflemen, and a Sherman is in production. Once it gets here, the scout cars are going to struggle. The Stug-E is available, and Momo will field it without protection. He needs to get AT guns out soon, or he's going to lose his Stug the exact same way Stormless did in Game 1.
Forces are securing our territory. We have 300 points remaining.
Scout car is struggling to find harassment opportunities. I don't know what I think about those riflemen getting in that house. That wounded, though. Just trying to hold the line, provide vision, harass. It's extremely dangerous. They could very seriously get wiped if they don't get out of there right now. Rear echelon troops also being engaged in the south. Riflemen leave the building. Very close to getting wiped. The stolen MG42 is available up here. What's this retreat? Oh, the Stug forced this retreat here in the north, and the squad will be forced away. This squad also forced away with grenadiers firing on them. The scout car available to maybe block. In red cover, I don't think that will survive, and there it goes, rifleman wiped. Autocannon scout car also working in the south. I am amazed at Momo's ability to utilize these scout cars to this much effect. Sherman, however, is on the field and catches this one out of position, and it will pick up only a rifle squad before being destroyed by the Sherman there in the middle. These grenadiers will have no choice but to retreat. The scout car in the south, the autocannon, gave up the chase on those rear echelon troops, and they will get away unpunished. Momo was forced to react to the Sherman there in the middle and couldn't continue microing his other scout car because of that. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. Of course, it's much better that his scout car got picked up than his Stug. His Stug is still quite safe, and an AT gun is now on the field to protect. Gets one shot off on the Sherman right there. This scout car should be able to get to safety. Autocannon actually does pretty good damage to the Sherman's rear armor. Sherman's not going to try and finish the job. Needs to get back for repairs, and he's got other opportunities here anyway, working on this Pio squad and trying to just stay out of range of the AT gun, which it will be able to do easily enough. Second AT gun in production now, and once those are both available to support the Stug, it will be very difficult for Stormless to do anything about it. Lieutenant will be forced to retreat soon, going down very fast.
Anti-tank gun has arrived. Enemy forces are securing our territory.
This is German territory.
Grenadier squad at full strength.
They're killing us!
Riflemen force away the Pios there in the south.
Who is ready?
attempting to steal our sector.
This is a nice spot up there. And here's our grenadiers ready.
Our lines of supply are disrupted. It's done. Pioneers ready for anything.
Stug working on the MG42. It's packing up. Will be forced to retreat. Stug having the effect you generally expect, and Stormless struggling to find a way to deal with this. Switches to armor-piercing rounds. I think he's going to try and pull off a flank with this Sherman. If he crosses the ice, that AT gun is well positioned to punish that decision. Sherman's going to go in frontally right here, and there's not currently an AT gun pointed at this approach. AT gun's going to rotate to react. And there's a Panzerfaust available right there as well. Sherman will definitely not be able to find an opportunity there, although it did bring the Stug somewhat close. Autocannon working on Riflemen in the south is bringing them dangerously low, and they will be forced to retreat. But it doesn't look like Momo is going to be able to chase that down. Stug, however, might be able to take a shot. But it actually has to help with the engagement for the middle. Frag grenade does huge damage right there. Stug, however, forces a retreat from the lieutenant. The autocannon scout car didn't get any kills on that squad. They'll both get to safety. More smoke grenades being deployed right there to try and maybe give the Sherman an opportunity. White phosphorus also being deployed in this area will put that Grenadier squad in extreme danger. AT guns don't get hit by any stray shells, fortunately. Grenadiers want to go in for the Panzerfaust, but they're just getting kited. That Stug just, I think, just wiped a full squad right there. Pretty sure it did. That's 14 kills on that Stug already, giving it access to target weak point. If that Sherman got crew shocked in front of these two guns, it would be done. Sherman Major on its way south to harass is forced to retreat. Looks like Momo is slowly taking control of this game, although he is way behind for victory points. If that Sherman were to go down... Whoa! Wasn't expecting that. Easy 8 pops up out of nowhere, and that Grenadier squad gets wiped. It's going to go in hard on this Stug. This could be the turnaround. Stormless needs huge HE shell on the AT gun right there. Wipes it. Fire. There. Oh, main gun destroyed. Crit, though. Main gun destroyed. Crit. That may not even matter, to be honest. Both AT guns are caught horribly out of position. I don't think they will survive this engagement. I don't know how they could, going down fast. And Momo is nowhere near a Tiger. He needs to field himself fresh AT guns to survive this. Grenadiers trying to move up for the Panzerfaust. The scout car chases off a squad in the north with Pios. And two squads in the south also getting territory under control, but harassing the flanks is only worth so much if your AT guns... Grenadiers and Stug are all in extreme danger of being destroyed, which it looks like Stormless is going to go hard into the base. AT gun there gets cleared, and they will begin the hunt for the Stug E, which is going to try and hide in the north. They are diving into this base, scouting for opportunities. They will maybe even destroy the Tier 1 structure here to disable Momo's ability to fire Panzerfausts. Decides that's not worth it and continues hunting for the Stug. He's on the wrong track, though. It's way up there in the north. 3 squads here in the south doing what they can against Grenadiers. Major gets sniped on the retreat right there. That's unfortunate for Stormless, although this pickup is definitely going to help. Momo is not monitoring that squad, trying to manage too many things at once right now. He has lost his medic bunker. AT gun is trying to chase off these 2 tanks and is able to do so successfully, but another squad just got wiped right there. Momo losing total control of this game right now. His Stug is, however, still alive and still available for repairs here in the north, and the scout car is looking for stuff here as well.
That's everyone. Grenadiers ready.
But he just lost a full squad of Grenadiers, full squad of Pios. He's only got 2... Well, no, okay, he's got 2 AT guns out. 2 AT guns and a Stug is the recipe for success, as Osair.
We have 200 points remaining.
And he needs to support them, he needs to position them well.
In our lines.
That Easy 8 just had so much shock value. Momo was so not ready for that.
Grenadiers reinforced.
Contact! Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Sherman finds an opportunity against the scout car, and that's going to be destroyed here. Or abandoned. Even better. Looks like the Stug is going to be destroyed, and there's finally nothing that Momo can do about it. These losses are just not affordable. The AT guns didn't make it there in time, or did they? Ah, they're firing blind in the fog of war. Nice attempt by Momo. Try and trade. Couldn't make it happen. Easy 8's being repaired right here. Scout car has been stolen by riflemen. And the Sherman is also going to start pulling back for repairs with a Tiger nowhere near arriving. Momo knows that the game is lost, and Stormless will take game 1 with a 488 VP victory. Obviously, he will have faction selection going into game 3.